This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Coming to you from the Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome, I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone. I am...
Hey everybody, this is Billy Gunn.
This is the Birdman Coco Beware.
Hey, this is the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, the National Treasure, Nick Holden.
Woo! It's the Nature Boy. Woo!
This is Tito Santana, WWE Hall of Famer.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Me and my 23-inch pythons never listen to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows. And this is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. I am your host, Benjamin Burrows, and we're coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome. Want to thank Dave the Ray for our brand new opening there, getting us some clips of some Hall of Fame wrestlers, even the Huckster in there. It is a great and glorious day for you to be out selling your products and selling your services, for you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you sell it. And again, this is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Wow. Dave the Ray, I did not expect that opening. We took a couple weeks off over Christmas because Dave the Ray and the staff of Grunt to Groan wanted to spruce up the podcast a little bit, and I never expected that. I never expected a brand new opening, and they didn't tell me what they were doing. They just said, hey, just roll with the flow on what's going to happen. And I said, okay, that's what we'll do. So here we are, ringing in 2019 with a brand new opening. Dave the Ray and the staff of Grunt to Groan are all rested because we took a couple weeks off in December. Hope you're rested. Hope you're relaxed. Hope you had a safe and great holiday and a happy new year. It's good to be back in the saddle. It's good to be back podcasting with you through the magic and the miracle of this interweb. Never in a million years did I think that we would now be 29 episodes into Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. And I want to tell you, we had a great 2018. Man, I want to tell you, we pressed in 2018, and we are going to power 2019. That is what we're doing here. We are looking to bring power to you, the sales professional, the Grunt to Groan Nation in 2019. And again, 2018 was a great year for us. We published the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, which you can buy at Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com, or Walmart.com. Please do. Great gift if you have a sales professional in your life. We started the podcast right here, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. Now heard by over 4,500 listeners in 17 different countries. Thank you very much. Sales professionals all over the world connecting right here with the Grunt to Groan podcast. Want to thank Dave the Ray. This was his brainchild and his idea to actually do this. He said it would be great to support the book. So I want to thank Dave the Ray for the idea and for producing it. Want to thank you for taking time to listen to the podcast. And also, you know, in 2018, we started our official Grunt to Groan merchandising brand. I want to thank everybody who purchased the holiday hoodie, the Santa Claus putting a headlock on the holidays hoodie. That was Santa Claus putting the Skull Crusher in a headlock. So thank you very much for buying that. We'll put it back up around the holidays next year for you to be able to purchase again. Also want to tell you that our motto, our T-shirt with our motto on it, sales professionals are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, is currently for sale in short sleeve tees on Amazon.com. Long sleeve tees will be available by the end of the week. And want to thank folks for buying that. And I just, you know, this was just amazing. When I started this whole project, Grunt to Groan, I never thought in a million years that that folks would really gravitate to the idea of this, a sales motivational book written about sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. And it is humbling, and it is an honor that folks would actually buy the book and then email me and say, this part of the book really impacted me. I thought this part of the book helped me a great deal. Or this part of the book inspired me to do this or to do that. So I'm humbled and I'm honored. And I want you to know that you can reach out to me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That is my personal email address, greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. There's no filter. I have no screeners. That is a direct line to me. And I love to hear from you. I love to hear from the Grunt to Groan Nation about how you prospect new business. How do you present? And how do you close? So please do not hesitate. Take time. Shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. And just to clean up some business from 2018, I want to say congratulations to my neighbors, them boys.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Yeah, there they are, Mark and Jay Briscoe, the Briscoe brothers, Dave the Ray. Another little verbal nugget that you've thrown in there that I wasn't quite sure. He said when I mentioned the Briscoe brothers winning their 10th Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, that he had a little surprise. So congratulations to Mark and Jay, our neighbors from Sandy Fork, Delaware, the Briscoe brothers.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Yeah, I'm reaching for the sky on winning their 10th Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Again, the Briscoe brothers, congratulations.
Reach for the sky, boy.
I'm reaching for the sky. And I want to thank Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are doing something pretty revolutionary. They are actually starting their own wrestling company called All Elite Wrestling. And these guys, man, they sold out the Sears Theater in Chicago in 38 minutes. And Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and the Young Bucks, man, they got a real cool thing happening. And they have capitalized on an element of professional wrestling that I think some of the big guys are missing, like the WWE and Impact Wrestling. I think Ring of Honor gets it. I know that Ring of Honor gets it, and I'm a big Ring of Honor fan. And I know New Japan gets it. They just had a huge wrestling event this past week called Wrestle Kingdom. That was incredibly successful. So I know they're getting it. So congratulations to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks for, really branching out and starting All Elite Wrestling. I wish them the most success in the world. And if there's anything that I can do to help them promote All Elite, I'm all in, man. I'll do whatever I can to help them out. So getting through some of that business right there, I want to jump into our podcast, and I'll tell you, this is kind of going to be a crazy kind of podcast, not just because of some of the bells and whistles that Dave the Ray has thrown at us here, but because I really wanted to start 2019 with just an awesome positive message, this big positive boom that would inspire you to go out and do great things in 2019. And I did some research on the internet, and I was really planning some things. And this past week, I probably spent more time preparing for this podcast than any other podcast. But then some craziness started to happen. As I was planning for this podcast, I learned that legendary professional wrestling announcer and WWE Hall of Famer and Professional Wrestling Hall of Famer Mean Gene Okerlund had passed away at the age of 76. Now, for those of you who do not follow professional wrestling, Mean Gene was the voice of a generation. The voice of a generation of professional wrestling fans. Like myself, my son. He was the voice of the AWA, the American Wrestling Alliance. The voice of the WWF, WWE. He was the voice of Hulkamania, WrestleMania, WCW, and Monday Night Nitro. Mean Gene Okerlund was this voice. The Cubs had Harry Carey. The Dodgers had Vince Scully. Wrestling fans had Mean Gene Okerlund. And you know what? In talking with professional wrestlers and hearing professional wrestlers honor Mean Gene this past week, it is quite evident that Mean Gene was not just a legendary announcer, was just not a legendary wrestling character. He was a legendary good guy. Mean Gene Okerlund was one of the really good guys. Now, you're probably thinking, Benjamin wanted to start this podcast in the new year with a big boom. How does the passing of Mean Gene Okerlund start the year off with a boom? Well, I'll tell you. Mean Gene was one of the good guys. He's one of those good guys that we as sales professionals should strive to be each and every day. Mean Gene Okerlund was so valued and highly thought of by the professional wrestling community that the stars came out en masse to communicate the love and the appreciation that they had for Mean Gene. Ric Flair tweeted, not only the greatest voice and personality in the history of announcing, but a man who touched everyone's life who were fortunate enough to know him. Hulk Hogan tweeted, Mean Gene, I love you, brother. Triple H, Hunter Helmsley, the WWE tweeted, Mean Gene was loved by all who worked with him. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, said, WWE Universe lost one of its greatest announcers and one of the nicest guys you'll ever know. Stephanie McMahon said he made everything and everyone better. Shane McMahon said his iconic voice, personality, and talent helped so many superstars climb to the top. Stone Cold Steve Austin said simply the best. The icon Sting tweeted, he was a good man and one of the greatest of all time. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, WWE Hall of Famer, tweeted, the phrase of often imitated but never duplicated is very appropriate for my friend, Mean Gene Okerlund. And a legendary professional wrestling announcer, good old JR, Jim Ross, tweeted, I just saw Mean Gene in North Carolina at WrestleCade. It is so true that our tomorrows are never guaranteed. Mean Gene Okerlund was one of the good guys. A figure that we should strive to be. Now, I know that there's some of you out there who don't follow professional wrestling, and you may not know who Mean Gene Okerlund is. Dave the Ray put together a verbal montage to help familiarize you with Mean Gene Okerlund.
All right, it's absolute bedlam and pandemonium here back in the locker rooms at Madison Square Garden. Gene Okerlund here with the brand new World Wrestling Federation champion, Hulk Hogan. You proved it to thousands and thousands of fans, not only here tonight in Madison Square Garden, but throughout the wrestling world.
You know something, Gene? They proved it to themselves. All I asked was for the Hulk to stand behind the Hulkster, and I told him I'd bring it home for the USA. You know something, Gene? It is the dream of a lifetime, Daddy.
Oh.
And you know something? I can't imagine. This is like going to the mountaintop 1,000 times over. I feel the energy. Hulkamania's running worldwide.
I am talking about Macho Madness and Hulkamania.
Anybody that knows wrestling knows that it's synonymous with the Iron Sheik.
The biggest professional athlete in the entire world. My guest at this time, his name, Andre the Giant from Grenoble, France.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. That was last night. Tonight is tonight. He was on his way to Ronald Reagan National Airport in neighboring Washington, D.C. But ladies and gentlemen, a change of heart, a change of mind. Please welcome the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Mean! Woo! My God! Gene! We're in the big D tonight, baby, and we are live!
All right, fans, we've got more exciting action coming up here in just a moment or two. My guest at this time, and I can hardly wait this week to get him out here, the WCW heavyweight champ, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. In light of those very interesting comments last week by the immortal Hulk Hogan, I just had to hear what you were going to say this week, Ric Flair.
Well, Gene, as I said to you last week, I'm flattered that Hulk Hogan has a renewed interest, not only in the greatest sport in the world, professional wrestling, but obviously a renewed interest in being number one. That's why my name comes up repeatedly.
I want to thank you for this. Have a great, great weekend. God bless you, and God bless America.
There you go, a verbal montage of the late Mean Gene Okerlund, courtesy of the WWE Network, WWE Classics, and TMZ. Now, as I heard the news of Mean Gene's passing, an article popped up on one of my social media pages that was entitled, "Do Good to Others, Not Because of Who They Are, but Because of Who You Are." That reminded me of Mean Gene Okerlund. Do good to others, not because of who they are, but because of who you are. Written by Oleg Vishimpolsky. Yeah, Mean Gene Okerlund's passing is a horrible way to start the year. But Vishimpolsky's message is a great message to start the year and for the year. And what better way to honor Mean Gene than to spend 2019 doing good for others, not because of who they are, but because of who you are. Now, I don't want to get all biblical on you, but the Bible was the first with this message: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And as sales professionals, isn't this something we live for? Isn't it something we strive for, to help others? Don't we work hard to understand and help solve the problems of our clients? To consult our clients with the best possible solutions and not just sell them things? You know, I had a conversation with a seasoned sales professional this past week, and he said, you know, I'm not here to sell things. I don't want to sell things to my clients. I'm here to help my clients solve things. And I know that the profession of sales is in a transition right now, and we're in a crossroads right now. And I know that a lot of companies are training young sales professionals to sell things and not solve things. And that it may be kind of passé right now to say that you are attempting to consult your client, or that you want your client to look at you as a resource. I even contend that to be successful in sales, your client should look at you as part of their team. And I understand in professional sales that it's more important to fill the pipeline and fill out the CRM information and sell things than it is to solve things. Now, I'm not disrespecting the profession of sales in any way. You know I love sales, and I love sales professionals. But I think as the older people in sales, as the veterans of sales, it's important for us to teach our younger sales professionals what it really means to be an asset to their clients. And I would include some management in that. It's not about selling things. It's about solving issues for our clients. Vision Pulaski affirms our mission and starts his article by writing, "I'm not impressed by your position, title, and money. I'm impressed by how you treat others." Now, I know in this age of me, and more me, thinking of others is a cutting-edge concept. But again, as sales professionals, isn't that something we do every day? Not just because we're trying to make a sale, but because we want to be good stewards of the human race. I want to help my clients. I want to help them be successful. I want to help my company be successful. And I want to be successful. Zig Ziglar said it best. You can get anything you want in life as long as you help as many people get what they want in life. To do good to others, not because of who they are, but because of who you are. So as we embark into 2019, I challenge you to make helping others your goal, professionally and personally. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, as the great Paul Harvey would say, for the rest of the story, as an FYI, before Mean Gene Okerlund became Mean Gene, professional wrestling announcer, he was Eugene Okerlund, sales professional. According to Eric Bischoff, interviewed on Busted Open on Sirius XM on Thursday, January 3rd, Mean Gene started his professional wrestling career because he was in the right place at the right time. You see, back in the day, the AWA, the American Wrestling Alliance, owned by WWE Hall of Famer and legendary grappler Vern Gagne, conducted their television tapings at a small Minneapolis television station. In need of an announcer one night, Gagne grabbed the first man he saw in a suit. And that just happened to be sales professional Eugene Okerlund. After announcing his first match, Eugene Okerlund was hooked on the Grunt to Groan game. He was hooked on professional wrestling. And sales professional Eugene Okerlund morphed into professional wrestling great Mean Gene Okerlund. And as Paul Harvey would say, that's the rest of the story. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to the Grunt to Groan podcast. Remember, you can email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can follow me on Twitter at Great American Thunder at Real Ben Burrows. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. And I thank you for listening. Remember, you are the Great American Thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold. So quit listening to me. Get out there. Sell something.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots. Give it all I got. All I got is this microphone.